spring's the most important time to check on bees. So, but there are other things later in the season that you do need to watch for. So winter, you basically want to stay out of there. Get things that are just right before you go into winter, and hopefully you can leave them alone, stay out of there in the winter. And then spring, you need to check on them a little bit more. Summer, so once you learn, you kind of learn the life cycle of the bees and how they go after you've been a beekeeper for a few years. You'll know when you need to check on bees. You'll know when to just stay out of there. And a lot of us, I mean, if it's a hobby, we're just doing this for fun. So even if you don't need to go check on something in the hive, you just want to go look in there and see what they're doing, that's okay too.
So when the winter comes, take the box off?
Yeah. So winter, okay, yeah, so wintering bees, so you want bees in 2 boxes for the winter. Right, so last year the clusters were so small, I wintered a bunch of them in 1 box. Some of them I even had in nuke boxes. They never really filled up 1 whole box. And some of them made it in the nuke box. I don't recommend doing that, but so depending on the size of your cluster, the average size of bees there would fill up 2 boxes. So you need to have about the equivalent of 1 deep box full of honey for the winter. So all of that honey won't be in the top box. You'll have 5 or 6 frames of honey that are partially full of honey in the top box. You'll have 4 or 5 frames in the bottom box. You'll have some frames of pollen in the bottom box. Yeah. So the 3rd box you take off, we don't want to ask the bees to heat up more space than they have to for the winter time. So we reduce the amount of space down to the minimum, which is typically on average year, average colonies, it's going to be 2 boxes going in the winter. If we lived in a colder climate, if you'll get that manual, the Minnesota beekeeping classman, in climates like that, they need 3 boxes on. They're typically leaving 3 on for the winter. So here, 2 is usually sufficient, and it should weigh about 100 pounds. About November, go out there and lift your hive up. 2 boxes full of bees should be 100 pounds.
If you're having trouble, the excess bees and then take the 3rd box away.
Right. So that 3rd box is surplus for you, so you can take that and extract it, shake all the bees off, put that somewhere where they won't come and rob it out, put it inside, indoors, and then they'll all go into the 2 boxes for the winter time. Yeah.
Let me ask you one question. What do they do in the winter?
In the winter time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the insect equivalent of hibernation. Okay. Yeah, so not like mammals, but they
slow down.
They slow down their metabolism. They'll get in a cluster, and they just slowly move around in the hive eating and consuming honey. They just have a big honey party in there all winter long. So, yep.
Do we need to wrap, in Utah, do we need to wrap the hives in the winter?
2 years ago, no, you wouldn't have had to. Last year, yeah, we had a winter here just like they get in Minnesota. We didn't wrap a lot of them because we usually don't have to, but last year would have been 1 year that
Can you wrap them in tar paper?
I haven't wrapped them in the tar paper. I've done a few different kinds of things for them in the wintertime. We had some bees up in Wyoming, Bridger Valley, a couple years ago, and we were going to wrap them. We were going to put a windbreak up there, maybe put some bales of hay on the one side to keep them warm. Make sure we put something over the top to keep them off. And didn't get around to it. They were just out there. They had a piece of plastic, a thick, rigid piece of plastic over the top, so there wasn't snow directly on the lid. That's all we did for them. They did have an inner cover, and I thought, well, they're probably not going to make it good. They're just fine. It's just as cold there as the Dakotas or Minnesota or something, and they got so. I had a couple of bees colonies that I overwintered in nuke boxes this last year, and the book says you're not supposed to overwinter them in nukes. There's not enough honey in there for them, and the nuke, the lid I had on there didn't have the ventilation, didn't have this on it, and the bees had stuck propolis all the way around that, sealed it up just as tight as can be. And I looked in there in May. I didn't get in there till May to look in the thing, and it was positively soggy in there. There was mold and moisture trapped on the underside of the lid, and all my other bees that I did everything that I was supposed to with died, and that one was still alive. So I can give you about a half a dozen of those things that contradict what the book says to do. So if you want to wrap it, make sure that you've got your ventilation. If you put tar paper around it, make sure you leave your ventilation holes in there.
And an
but
exit.
and an exit and entrance. And it wouldn't be a bad idea, but most of the time you don't need to around here.